right, everyone. Richard Carlton, welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. We've got our airborne dog over here. Very exciting day. A lot of you like to post the funny memes and conversations here. So welcome to fmtrain.tv, where it's, I don't get to be here all the time, but the next couple weeks, starting probably Thursday, I'm going to see a lot of Richard. So let me talk about the upcoming broadcast schedule and let you know what is going on. So you've been working with Hot Air Balloon Ken, who this is a part of his database. If it all works good, the dog actually floats to the living room. Very exciting. I want to welcome and thank the folks who keep the chat interesting. This also popped up. Someone said, is this how Hot Air Balloon Ken flies his balloons? He's been known to fly at 30,000 feet on a knife edge before. Very exciting. Couple things. So first off, I have a list here in my hands of the complaint emails to Richard. Dear Richard, you suck. Okay. The next one is, Dear Richard, Nick sucks. Okay, I'm not sure about that. Dear Richard, Margaret is awesome, and she puts up with us. Hey, Margaret, you got a positive comment here. Very nicely done. So real quick, in terms of things, I've had a couple more serious messages from me. People give us feedback. So if you want to give us feedback, like the dog is cute or whatever, but if you have something more, what I would call actionable feedback, like if Nick sucks, I can't really shoot Nick, right? We don't do that. We're really nice people here. Someone said, so I did get this message, and he goes, well, once I was able to learn how to translate Nick, he's really great, and where do I find his sample files? As a reminder, the sample files are generally in the description of the YouTube video that you're watching. Sometimes Nick does a handful of things where he does things and he cannot share the sample files with you for whatever reason. That's because he stole the database from another company or customer.
That case is true for today. For people who have requested Ken's file, we can't give you Ken's file.
Of course. I'm sorry. Ken could give it to you, but then he'd have to kill you. So that kind of thing. So the goal is for us to educate you. We want to give you as much as we can. We give you more than all the other FileMaker consultancies put together. That being said, we cannot give you everything. All right, so let's talk about the schedule coming up real quick. So we got hot air balloon action today, tomorrow. It's a rebuild, redesign, really great live stream. I get lots of positive comments about this. Then, very, very important, Leland Long will be covering JSON training. JSON training starting Thursday. He's going to be trying to do this one day a week as a general rule. He's decided he wants to make this an ongoing thing. I think it's a huge deal. After going through the JSON training with with Leland, you start to appreciate what Claris could do, and you start to have some vision of what they could do, and it's like, wow, they could really open this up and make it great. So anyway, then Friday, the progression of digital document management. So this is a conversation. We did a digital document management deal about 3 or 4 weeks ago. A couple of you sent me some questions. One of which was, how do I get this all done, customize it, and spend 5 minutes doing it and not invest any money? We're going to cover that one tomorrow as well. So there'll be a JavaScript thing on kind of ongoing. The goal with the JavaScript is kind of to really focus more on beginner stuff, not super gnarly stuff. I said JSON training or Java. It's JavaScript training. Part of JavaScript, kind of peripherally to that, is JSON. Right? So I'm deliberately mispronouncing that because people keep saying it that way. JSON. We're going to learn about the Mark format, the Fred format, the Richard format, and JSON format. It's awesome. So then we got progression of digital document management. So that's an important one. Understanding people come to you as a FileMaker developer, you need to have how to direct them or guide your. If you're an internal person, like Hot Air Balloon Ken is an internal person at the Hot Air Balloon folks organization. Nonprofit, they do digital document management. I'm guessing I know what level of digital document management he uses, but there's 4 levels. And you're like, ooh, we've never heard of the 4 levels. It's the 4 levels of success. And I'm going to share it with you on Friday if you want to come. So yeah, so that's the plan for Friday. Jacob Taylor won't be here, but we'll be channeling Jacob in that a little bit, because how you handle digital documents depends upon the total volume size of the documents you're trying to manage, right? Now, next week, important, FM starting point, day 1, day 2, day 3. We're going to be covering a wide variety of topics next week. We're going to flesh these out a little better. We are trying to get the new starting point 2023 shipped out the door. There is a couple minor new features, but if you want to start a project and have it generally be bug-free, that's the release you'll be looking for. It looks like it will ship on Tuesday. at this point. It's not like a giant crisis. It looks the same as 22 for the most part. It just works a hell of a lot better, and all the litany of issues have been gone through. In fact, we'll discuss how we went through and cleaned a lot of these up. We'll discuss some of the tactics and strategy for that. So that is interesting. Nick, are you there? Are you ready to assume command of the Starship?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Thank you, boss. Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ken, for being here with us today. So that the last day, no, tomorrow's the last day. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow's the last day for 15 days. So thank you everyone for joining today. So we continue this series of rebuilding the file from Ken, right? So I want to do a recap. So what you're seeing here with these videos to do some kind of coaching, so when you call us, you say, okay, I have a file, I have some problems, I have some issues, I want to fix this, I want to fix that, I want to improve this, I want to improve that, and we share screen, right? And we do this exactly what I'm doing here. We review, we rebuild, we fix, we do all kinds of things. So that is we call that coaching, right? So that's something we do at RCC. And it's very cool, by the way. I've been working with a lot of people, and sometimes it's easier just to call us and say, okay, fix this. It's like calling a handyman at home. Say, okay, I'll hang this painting for me, right? So it's the same thing, right? So instead of staying days trying to fix things or doing things, maybe it's better to call us for punctual things, for very precise things. So that's what happened, right? So we call that coaching, right? So, and in this webinar, so we rebuild the file, and every day we cover, a topic, and we encounter something. Then I dig deep under explanation. I explain things. I demonstrate things. So we did a lot of things during those 3 weeks with Ken, and so I encourage you to watch the videos, right? Because we cover a lot of things. And what's very cool is that you see how we manipulate the tools. You see how we build things, we position object. You see all the tricks of a professional that doing that for years. So we have tricks, we have methods to save time, to avoid rework, to avoid things. So I'm explaining the methodology we use. I demonstrate how to reuse object, where you have something built on another file, then you bring it up inside the current file, and then you can reuse things instead of rebuild everything. So it was very interesting. So we are going to continue with this. And so let me share my screen right quick here. So we have Ken file. So we received this, and since 3 weeks, for like it was an hour and a half for 3 days during the week, we build something like this. So we build this and we build this, right? So this and this pretty much the same, right? So we cover how to build these kind of things. We cover the auto entry calculation with the triggers. We cover a lot of topics, and then we are going to continue. So yesterday we explained how to do a PSOS, right? A performance screen on server, to get to change the primary balloon, right? So how we go to the server and uncheck the primary on this one and recheck on this one, right? So I want to follow up on this, right? Yesterday, so we did this, right? And we built the scripts on server, right? That doing this, right? And yesterday I explained that we don't care about the one that was primary before, right? And to put the new one as primary. We don't care to know if the old one was primary. We don't care. We just retrieve all the records here. We have 2 records here. So we retrieve all the records, right? And then we replace all those records. We replace the tag that sets the primary, and we reset the record that has the ID of the new primary, right? But I want to follow up on this because you heard me many times. If you follow me for a long time, you heard me saying the same thing all the time. Numbers, the number is driving your the technique you can use. Okay, that means the numbers, media files, how many connection web direct, so how big the file is. When you have 10 records, it's not the same when you have 1,000 records. That's not the same when you have 10,000 records, and that's the same when you have 1 million records. So it's each time you increase the number, whichever, could be, how many users, how many, when you increase number, right, then you narrow down the possibility, your freedom of using techniques. You narrow it down. And when you have a solution where you get like millions of records, you have few options, right? Very few. And sometimes you have only one. Okay. So that's the difficulty, is that when you have, you used to use a technique to do something, and then you use that for years, and then you want to apply this for 1 million records, and you realize that it doesn't work. Okay, it's because the technique you were using wasn't the good one, right? Was the good one for 10 records, but not the good one for 1 million. So here, yesterday, I said that we can replace all the records and do that. But imagine that we have 1 million records here, right? Imagine that we have in that table here, we have 1 million records, and you want to apply that technique, it won't work. It will, but it will be slow, right? So I'm saying this to explain that if you have a lot of records, in that case, right, you do need to catch this record and check it, and catch the new record and then check it, right? So, so that being said, to explain that the numbers driving the technique you must use. Okay, so that was a follow-up from from yesterday. So today we are going to continue, right? So Ken, how you add balloons here?
Right now, I just go into the next portal role and enter the registration number.
So here is not doing it.
Like underneath the N, I would just click there and add a new one.
But I cannot click.
I think we turned that off on the relation.
We turned that off. So you do this, right? So you click here and you add in the portal the registration number, right?
Yes.
This. So you add this, this, and the status. How you do that? You have a value.
So usually I just add that registration number.
Yes.
And then when it creates the record, I go to the little arrow, which goes to the layout that lets me put all the other information in it.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. So where the balloon,
it goes to the balloon verification layout.
Balloon verification layout. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So, so this balloon verification layout, right?
Yes.
So this is something you turn on and off.
Yes.
Okay. So you have this, and this. So you have a layout for this, right? So there's many ways we can address this, okay? So obviously we're not going to use the same technique that entering a number here and then go, and so we are going to use another technique for that, okay? So
which we started with the add balloon button.
Yeah. Okay, exactly. So that's why I added this that you didn't have here, right? But I tried to figure out, so this is where you edit the balloon, right? So there's two ways to do this, right? But I want to, because we have a few times where I cannot do all what I want, I'm going to do I'm going to build the best way for this case scenario, okay? So typically, are you adding a balloon without a pilot or?
No.
No.
No, I'll add when I start everything fresh, I start with a pilot and then they have a balloon.
Okay. So we are going to do the right way. So what's the right way? We need to go there, right? And we need to add here a new folder named cards. Okay. So we have the pilot and we have cards. And I'm going to add a new card inside this. So I'm going to explain what a card, right? So it's a new layout that point to the balloon table. Okay. We are going to call it C100, right? And we are going to call it add new balloon card. Okay. So it's a form, right?
Yep.
So we have this. So now I have a brand new, fresh layout. Okay. And this layout, right? This layout points to the balloon table. Okay. So in this layout here, I'm going to. So are we in the same balloon table here? Yeah, balloon table, right? So in this layout, this is where you add the registration, you add all those pictures and stuff like this, right?
Yes, exactly. Put all the documents in, update the dates, validate it, and that drives the calculations of the statuses that we've worked on the last few days.
But you told me that you can have the same balloon to many people, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So because the way you do, so that means you add multiple value, you have multiple value in the foreign key. That's what you do, right? You have a foreign key.
Yeah, you can see the foreign pilot deal down there, and I just copy at the very bottom is where it is, where the IDs are. And I just add another ID there, and now it's attached that balloon to a second pilot.
So pretty much what you do is that if I want to attach the same balloon, so let's open a new window here. If you want to attach the same balloon to another, right? So you go, I'm not in the, yeah, I'm good. So you go there, for example, you grab the ID of that pilot, right? You grab this.
Yep.
And you paste that here.
That's exactly what I've been doing.
Okay, and now you have the balloon here. So now this balloon is on 2, right? Is on 2. Okay. Right. So this technique here, it's a good technique. Let's say it's a good patch. I mean, when you don't want to waste time and you don't want to do the right way, right? Then you do that way. That means sometimes, you don't want to spend time there, so you do this, right? So you add another ID on this one, right? This, right? The problem is it
was a simple, quick solution.
Exactly. The problem is, I want to remove that balloon, that guy's, right? So you want to remove that guy.
It's no longer associated with that guy.
Yeah. So you need to select this and substitute and do, and remove it, right? So that's what you want to. That's what you want to do. The best way, we are going to take the time to do the right way, right? Then we can do a good demonstration. This technique here, I used this in the past, but I don't anymore because it will be like a stone in your shoe, a rock in your shoe, always. Okay, always. Especially that the real fix is not that complicated. Okay, so let's do the real fix. We are going to create what we call a cross-reference table. Okay, so it's a cross-reference table, and I call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I give names like this, right? And what this do is doing pilots, right, to balloon, pilots to balloons, That's what it's doing. Okay.
Okay.
The cross-reference, pilots to balloon. I create this, right? I create this.
Yeah.
I remove this. And then I say, okay, I want the primary key on this, right? So it's ID, so double underscore, ID, capital, xref1, pilots, balloon. Okay? That's what it's doing. Okay? Actually, I can do this singular. It's a primary key. I have all my tables has primary keys, all of them, you know, and it's
right.
a get UUID standard. Okay. So now I need two IDFs, IDF pilots and IDF balloon. Two foreign keys, right? I have two foreign keys, balloon, pilot. Okay. So now that I have this, right, I can I should have closed this, but it's okay. I'm going to have this table in between connected to the pilots and the balloon, right? So that's why I shouldn't have closed this. So I have this here, right? So I'm going to the pilots, right? And I'm going to connect this. So not this one, that's the original. I'm going to the pilot and I'm going to connect this, you know, pilot xref1 balloon, right? So I have this occurrence, right, that point to the cross-reference table, and I'm going to connect the primary key of the pilot with the foreign key of the pilot, right?
Got it.
That's what I want. In the same time, okay, right, I want to create a world for that here. I'm going to create a world, change the color, and that will be, let's say 5, and that will be I put 100. I put the cross-reference table on the 100. That means I have different type of tables, right, of occurrence, and typically all the cross-reference, I'm putting them in a 200. By the way, I'm putting them on the 200s. So I know that the 100s are system related. That means things I use to make the solution working. Okay.
Okay.
From 0 to 100, those tables are the main table where we have data, and the 200s, right, is the cross-reference table. So let's go to the 200s, and this is a xref1, right? Pilots, balloons, right? So this is the name of the occurrence. Okay. So I'm going to name this like this. Actually, I want to keep this original. I want to keep this original. Okay. So this is an occurrence, right? So I have now what we call an anchor that points to that cross-reference table. That means that cross-reference table has now a primary occurrence, right? Yep. And now that I have this, I can do this. I can create another occurrence that go to pilots, right? So T200A, right? That go from xref1 balloon, pilot balloon, pilots balloons, okay? That goes to the pilots, okay? And I'm going to use the primary key of the pilot as a key, right? Okay. I have this one. And I have another one, the T102B, that the same point of entry, the same anchor, but I go to the balloons. And I'm using the primary key of the balloon. So now, right? Each time I'm doing this. Okay, balloon, balloon. Okay, balloon, balloon. Balloon.
U.S. versus the rest of the world.
Spelling. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's, so this one go with this, and this one go with this, right? So now I have those two, okay? I have those two. So I have a point of entry, the 200, right? The T200, that the main point of entry, the main occurrence of this table that points to the balloon and points to the pilot and the balloon. At the same time, I have here from the pilots an occurrence, right, that go from the pilots to the cross-reference table, right? So I have from pilots to the cross-reference table, and I have from cross-reference table to the pilots. In no way I'm going to use this to build another world behind it. I don't. This is a buoy, it's not an anchor. This is an anchor, and those are buoys. So I'm going to explain why we do this. Right? So now that I have this, right, what do you want to display in this table, right? What do we want to display here, right? We want to display the registration, we want to display the name, and we want to display the status, right? So we want to display this. Okay. So there's multiple ways to do this. So I'm going to show you the simpler one, right? And then later, I'm going to show you the right one, okay? And always for the same reason, right? So I'm going to use the first one, the first technique to explain the first technique that applies when you have few records. Like, for example, in your case, I don't believe that the pilot will have millions of balloons, okay?
No.
Okay,
less than 4 usually.
Yeah, exactly. So we can use the technique I'm showing you. I'm showing right now, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm validating this. So I have my worlds, you know, I have my point of my anchor, I have my buoys, I have everything. Now I want to take care of this layout, this balloon layout. I'm not pointing this balloon layout, you know. So I'm pointing to the balloon layout. So I'm going to build this layout now. We have the cross-reference table, right? But now I'm going to build the balloon layout, okay? And then we are going to connect the dots, okay? We are going to connect pilots with balloon when the balloon layout will be done. So I'm not going to do a lot of design right now, but just I want to put there all what we need, right? So we need the photos, right?
Right.
So let's put that here. So we need the photos. So here we have some fields, right? So we have all those fields. So that's the registration number.
Yes.
Okay. So we need those. So those status are automatic, right?
Yes.
What the M means?
M was when I first designed this, I was using conditional formatting to change the entire background to match the color. And then when I tried to add it to an email, an HTML email that I sent out, I actually just wanted the text color. So the M is the text color versus the other box.
Okay. So this here is not something we want to see on the layout. We don't need.
It's almost like the M would be better than the other one.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this. The same for this, right? So we have M here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So the size, the year, the manufacturers, what this is. Okay, due, the annual date. Okay, so all of this, right? All of this, we take them. The name.
Yeah, we don't actually even need the notes.
we don't need not no. This, we need that, right? So we need that, okay?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. So I'm going to bring this here. Okay. Because we are on the same table, right? So this layout here, that's your layout, and this layout are on the same table, right?
Right.
So we're going to work on the design maybe tomorrow, okay? So, but today I'm just going to show you the technique to do all of these things.
There's one more picture if you want to grab it.
Oh,
the balloon picture on the right.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Photo name fix. Okay. So for that, we don't need that. So we have, this is all the registration stuff. And here we have the picture of the balloon itself.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So that we are going to build, we are going to reorganize those things, right? In terms of design, but later.
Okay.
I think tomorrow. So, and then we have all those, what's the name? Conditional.
Yeah, they're toggles for whether they're valued, whether the document is valid or not.
Okay. And primary balloon here. That the tag, the infamous tag.
Yeah, the tag, that was kind of a checkbox that did the toggle. So I do some visual things because as I was playing around and learning.
But the primary for who? And
that's the question. It's yes. If it's primary, it's always primary, no matter which pilot.
It's primary for everybody.
Right.
So, and now we understand what. So we're going to bring this up, okay? And we are going to talk about this primary business.
There you go.
Okay. So we are going to talk about this primary business because obviously you have got a problem here. And because if one pilot has one balloon in that, and if one balloon has only one pilot, that's okay. You can put the primary there, right?
Right.
Okay. But it's no longer the case, right? It's no longer the case. So now that we have the cross-reference table, right? So I have this, we are going to fix this issue with the cross-reference table. So now I have this layout, this card style layout, because that will appear as a card style. So I'm trying to make it smaller a little bit because otherwise it will be too big. Okay. So I have this layout. Where's the layout? The primary layout here. This poll was pointing to, right, the cross-reference table. It was pointing to the balloon table.
To the balloon table, right.
But now is no longer pointing to the balloon table. It needs to point to the cross-reference table, right? It needs to point there. So I was talking about the easy way, right? The easy way will be, so I'm in pilot. I have the cross-reference table, right? And behind the cross-reference table, I have a xref1 to balloons occurrence. So from pilots to xref1 and from xref1 to balloon. And here you can see from here to here, I use the pilot ID. And from here to here, I'm using the balloon ID. Right?
Got it.
So look this. I'm changing this. So now I changed that table to go to the pilot's cross-reference table. Okay? And inside that portal, all those fields, I need to go from the cross-reference table 1 to balloon. Right? Okay. So I'm going to explain. Okay. So I'm here. I'm here. This is this table, this layout. This layout here, it points to the pilots. This polar here points to that table related with the primary key of the pilot. And this polar here, those fields belongs to that table related to the balloon ID. Right? Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
So now, here, I have no records. None. Why? Because I'm not pointing to the balloon table anymore. I am pointing to a table with no records. Right? I have no record here.
Right.
So what happened? What happened? If I gather the ID of that pilot, right? So I actually I can store it. Okay, and I can remove all of those. Oh, okay. So I'm going to remove those. Right. So I'm copying the pilot ID. So I copy this. I'm creating a new record in that table, and I'm putting the pilot ID. Boom. Bam. Now I have one record appear here. And what happened if I want that balloon, you know, let's call it balloon 1. Oh. And this one balloon 2, okay? I have a problem.
The first one was actually the first balloon I ever owned.
Really?
Yeah. And that was actually the name of it.
Balloon 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Balloon 1. Yeah, balloon 1. Like Air Force
No,
One.
the other name that was there.
The mad.
No, the damn I'm good. That was the name of that balloon.
Okay, so this ID here is the ID of this balloon. And I'm putting here. Boom. So now I have a record in that table with two ID. This ID connects the dots from that polar to that pilot. And this ID connects the dots from that polar to that balloon. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. What happens if I do the same here? So I'm going there. I'm taking the ID of that pilot. Right? I'm creating a new record. I'm putting that pilot. Boom. And I'm getting the same balloon as before. So this balloon, right? Here. So now, balloon 1, it appears on both records here. Cantilli and Newman. I have the same balloon on both records. Right?
Cool.
Okay. Now, so you understand. So now I can say, if I have another balloon here, right? So let's use another balloon, right? I copy this, the balloon 2. And for this guy here, for Ken Tully, I'm going to add a new record, right? I put that balloon. I think this will be UID, yeah. And I'm putting the ID of this. So now Ken Tully has 2 balloons. 1, 2. You have one, and here I have only 1, right?
Right.
But I don't have anymore any needs to know here these ID pilots, these goes away. These goes away completely. No need of this. Because I have a third table in between. Here, this balloon, right? Let's say I'm putting Nick Hunter. I'm getting Nick Hunter here. And I'm gathering the ID of Nick Hunter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating a new record in the cross-reference table. I'm putting the ID of Nick Hunter here. And I want to take the ID of that balloon again. And I put here. Right?
Right. We should see a balloon by Nick.
Yeah. So you understand. So now balloon 2 is on Nick and Ken. Newman has only one, right? So now you say, yeah, okay, Nick, that's cool, but I want to know who is using this balloon, right?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
Very easy. Who is using this balloon? Very easy. I am in the balloon table, right? And I want to know who is using that. So here I'm showing you a good technique. Okay. A good technique, the right technique. Here is the balloon world, you know, but I'm not, this doesn't point to the right. So let's use, you understand what I mean? So this here, let's use the right way, because here we are using the balloon table, the balloon occurrence, okay?
Right.
But it's not your primary table. Your primary table, because you use the balloon table, which is this, to point to this layout, when normally the layout should point to the T02 balloon, because you have all those, you know, relationship that comes from this occurrence here. So what we do in that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, I don't know where's the layout, the balloon layout, you know, the new card, or what, of course, okay, this one. This new layout, you know, I'm going to point it to the T02 balloon. So I'm going to change the occurrence, okay?
Okay.
Of course, that will break everything. So now I have to do this, right? I need to repoint everything. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing this rapidly. You double click, you click here, you say currents. So you type here in the menu here, you click on the menu, you say CUR, is select the current table on top, valid, right? Because we point, if I go to another table that is not the same main table, you know what I mean? If I'm going to another occurrence that is not coming from that doesn't have the same main table, it's doing this, boom, right? It's doing this, bam. So it doesn't select any, because I'm going to another one. But if I go and I select the current, and the current is the same, I keep the field selected will be the same selected, even if I change that, because the main table is the same. They all, both of them, the T02 and the balloon, you know, they point to the same main table, the balloon table, you know, balloon table.
Okay,
so
I see why that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why when I double click here, I click here, cure it like this, you know, cure, select, you know, Claris return 2 times. So it's not that complicated. Cure, boom, boom. You know, you do this, boom, boom, you know. So it's, you know, like this. Okay. Like this. Cure, up. So sometimes I miss, you know, cure. So you do 2 times, you know, you say like this, cure, 2 times, 1, 2, like this, Cool.
Feature request to Claris, be able to select all and do this one time.
Yeah. You know, remember what I was saying about the door slamming at FileMaker? So yeah, that would be too easy, right? Why to make that easy if we can make it complicated, right? So I'm doing this. So it, it's not that difficult, by the way, right? It's painful, that's it. So I'm going to take care of that later, okay?
Yeah.
So, the name. So I'm going to make sure that I want to remove all those, what this is for.
Those were to double click on the small picture and get a card window that popped up.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's remove this. So how to remove multiple fields, how to remove the trigger from multiple selection like this, right? I select this one.
I think the trigger on those date fields were they might have been a format one or something.
Yeah, it's okay. We can remove all of those. So you select the fields, you keep the Alt key or the Command key depending on if you're on PC on Mac, okay? And you double click on one of those objects selected, right? It shows you all the, it shows you this half selection here because they have different, right? In my selection, I have different. So I can do this. I can uncheck, boom, paf. They go away directly. So we don't need to do one by one. So now I have this TZO2 balloon here. And I want to know, right, who is owning this, right? So now I'm here. This layout here points to that world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm selecting this that points to the cross-reference table. And I said, balloons, cross-reference table, right?
Yeah.
And I use from the balloon to go to that cross-reference table. Remember, that table is in between balloon and pilots. So now I want to go from here with balloon, right?
Right.
And then I'm going to, from xref 1 to pilots, right? And I'm using the ID of the pilot. So here I have from pilot to cross-reference to balloon. Here I have from balloon to cross-reference to pilot, right?
Right.
So now, who use that balloon? I have a poll here in the balloon table, in the TZO2 balloon. And I say, okay, I'm going straight to the cross-reference table, I'm going straight from cross-reference 1 to pilots. Okay, I'm going there. And I'm putting the name of the, the name first, last, like this, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And here what happened. So this balloon is owned or used by Ken and Alfred. And this balloon is used by Ken and Nick Hunter. So
right.
Why? It's because this cross-reference table, I have 4 records, right? 4. I have multiple times the same balloon, right? So if I present this as a table view, right, you will see that I have this balloon, I have multiple times the same balloon. So I have 2 times this one, 2 times this one, but they have different pilot ID, right? So thanks to those records, right, FileMaker will say, okay, got it. You want to display So this is really the tricks of FileMaker relationship. But here we dig deep in the FileMaker relationship. The polar points directly to that polar, to that occurrence directly. I don't even show this one. This polar here goes straight to the pilots. Okay, straight to there. Through this one.
Right.
So this one will be
there.
So this one will be like a connection, a bridge between this and this. That means I'm going to show the record of the pilots, right? I'm going to show the record of that pilots throughout this. And I'm going to show the record of that pilot only if the ID is part of that table. So if I have the ID of the pilot here, right, it's going to display in the portal, because if I have, for that balloon, the current balloon I'm in, I have two pilots, it will show the two pilots here, right? So this is how FileMaker relationship works. Okay? Right?
Yep,
but
I'm good.
This is different than the one I've done here. Here, I've done differently. Here, I was here, right? I display the total from that occurrence, and inside the portal, I'm showing fields from that occurrence. So that difference. On the balloon, I'm going straight to here. The portal goes there. From the pilot, it stopped there. I'm showing there, and then I'm showing this. Why the difference, you will say?
Yes, so Nick, why the difference?
Why the difference? I'm going to show you now. Remember, we have this primary balloon business, right? We have this primary balloon business. So now I cannot rely on the balloon, on the tag in the balloon table. I cannot. Why? Because the same balloon can be primary for one guy, but not primary for another one, right? It can be primary for all of people, or two out of three people. We never know. So the tag primary needs to migrate to the cross-reference table. Correct?
Totally been expecting this. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, yeah. So now the primary tag needs to be in the cross-reference table. Right? Yes. Correct? Okay. So now this here, remember, I have a condition here that hide an object. Okay, primary, not primary. Okay. So now this here was pointing to the balloon tag primary. Now I need to point to the pilot's, right, cross-reference, this one, tag primary, right?
Right.
Because this is where the tag we leave now, and I'm doing the same here. So one is, so now I have this distinction back. And remember, we have the same type of distinction here. So when it's primary and when it's not primary. So I'm changing the occurrence of the tag from one table to another. So I'm going to do the same for this object here. Paste this. So now I'm pointing to the cross-reference table for the primary. So now You will say, Nick, that's good, but what about the scripts?
What about the scripts, Nick?
Okay. So now, I still need to send to my script the ID of the balloon I want as a primary. So I still sending the pilot ID. This didn't change, but this is no longer, right? It's no longer from the balloon. It's from the cross-reference table, and I want the balloon ID in the cross-reference table. And I'm going to send that. I need that ID to make it primary, right? So I do this here. So I'm collecting my data, the pilot ID and the balloon ID. But now the balloon ID is coming from the cross-reference table. So now I need to go to the script, right? And change it, right? But here, because I did the right way, I have nothing to do. Nothing to do. Nothing changed here. I collect my parameters and I send the parameter to the script. So that's primary script here. I don't change anything. Just here, right? Here, we need to change, right? We need to do some changes. But that is not that difficult. So let me show you how we change this, okay? First, we are not going to the T02 balloon. We are going to go to the cross-reference, right? Okay.
Right.
That's why, if you follow me, right, I have a class of layout I call context. Right? So what are they? Right? Context are layouts in a table view, very simplistic layouts, right? That points to the main table of the anchor buoy world. I need a layout that points to that occurrence. Why? Because I will have a bunch of relationship from that. This is the cross-reference pilot's balloon world, right? And I want everything to come from that world. Everything, okay? I don't want a layout that points to this table or this table, I want to point there because this is the cross-reference world. That's why I call them context. I want a layout that points to the context, and I name it the same way as a context, okay? Refresh one. Pilots balloon, right? And it's a table view. And I want this. I want all the fields, right? So now I have a context layout. Okay. Thanks to that context layout, in my script, I can say, go to that context layout, brand new that I just built, that points to the T200 cross-reference one pilot's balloon. Okay. And here, I need to reproduce this from that context. So I was using the T0C balloon safe pilot, right? So I was using that context. So what I want, right? You remember I told you yesterday, in every single a link transfer ID global in all my table, because I'm using this to do this. I want 200C. It's a context that goes from cross-reference one pilots to cross-reference one pilots balloons using the IDF pilots, and it's a self relationship GTRR. Why? Okay, so you're familiar with my naming right now. Here I have all the information I need. It's coming from cross-reference one pilots to cross-reference one pilots. I use the IDF, the foreign key pilots, as the primary key, as a key in my relationship. It's a self joined relationship. That means it goes to itself, and I'm using that for go to that record purpose. And it goes to this one. It goes to the cross-reference one. So now I can say, whatever ID I'm going to put in the transfer ID, I want that to point to the pilots. And I'm going to explain why. Thanks to that relationship that comes from one table to another, but it's the same table. And the key I'm using as a relationship, it's a global key, it's a global field, right? I'm going to set that field with the pilot ID, and my relationship 200C is going to give me all the cross-reference records for that pilot without using perform find. Okay? Perform find sucks. Slow. Doesn't work. I mean, work, but for that purpose, this is better. And then I'm going to do the same business here. I'm going to say, I'm going to replace in the cross-reference, I'm going to replace the tag primary, right? And I'm going to replace the same as this, the same. But this is the 2T100 balloon ID. So now, what did I do? Going to the cross-reference table where I have all the records related to the pilots and to the balloon. I'm collecting all the current pilot I'm interested in. I'm collecting all the cross-reference records that are for that pilot. And I'm replacing the tag by whichever balloon I want to be primary. That's it.
So basically the same thing we did yesterday, except now instead of we're going over to the cross-reference table.
Exactly. And that gives me the freedom of saying, yes, the balloon one, but the name is wrong. I need to point in that field here, the balloon name needs to go. Yeah, so it's okay. So I'm going to do it, right? So I'm going to do it. Let's take care of that first. So I need to merge the fields. So xref1, what's the name of this? Pilots xref1 balloon, right? Oh, this one, sorry. I need to go to the xref1 balloon, this one, the one that goes to the balloon, right? And I want the name of the balloon, right? Yeah.
Right.
Name. Okay. So I cut this. I click the T here to select that text. Okay. I'm selecting this, paste. I'm hiding this object, right? This one, and I'm doing the same here, right? But here it's easier because we don't need to take care of this. So we paste this. So now the name will be fixed. So balloon one, click, and you say make balloon one primary, right? Balloon one primary. I click here, and I'm setting balloon 1, boom. This is now set as primary, balloon 1. Yeah, it's a primary balloon for Ken. But here is not the primary balloon. And here, you understand? So balloon 1 is the primary on Ken, is not the primary on Alfred. I could do this. I could say, yeah, make it primary for Alfred as well. And you can say, yeah, but Ken now has this one as balloon 2 as primary. Okay, change it. So now this here is the primary balloon for Ken, but still this one is a primary balloon for Alfred. So now we have a total completely disconnection on which balloon is primary for which. Why? Because the info of this is stored now in the cross-reference table, is no longer in the balloon. So here, right, in that table, we can say, okay, this is a primary balloon for these pilots, but this balloon, which is the same balloon for this pilot, is not the primary. And this balloon here is the primary for him, but this balloon here, which is the same, is not primary for him. And I could show you something like this. So this balloon here for Alfred, okay, this one, I said no primary for him. So it's not this one. I said no primary for him. Boom, it's no longer primary. But I want it to be primary for him. Or him, which one? Because I don't have the name. Yeah, right? So this tag here now belongs to the record that sets this pilot, this balloon, right? It's no longer on the balloon itself, because the balloon itself now can be owned by multiple persons. Okay, correct?
Yep. So definitely needed too.
Okay, so that's what you want to say to solve the problem. Exactly. So this cross-reference stuff, you know, it's not. So I showed you the fast technique to go to the info, right? But I think tomorrow I'm going to follow up on this, or maybe now. I don't know what time is it. Yeah, maybe. Here we have a flaw in our design, in my opinion. Okay. What is the flaw? The flaw is this. The flaw is we show a poll from here and data from here. And we must do this because we must to show which primary balloon is. So I need to go there, because if I was showing the information in that poll from that perspective, I would have lost that information here. Okay, I would have lost it. So, right. I mean, it wouldn't have been clean. Wouldn't have been cleaned. Okay. Now what I want, and this technique here is not my favorite for one point, for one reason. If you pass the 100 records, it starts to be slow. It start the what's the name? The scrolling will be like this, right? Because you show from one table to a third level. So this is what I do. I mean, what we need to do. What do we need to show here, right? What we need to show here. We need to show in the balloon, we need to show the registration, right? What is
registration number? It's
the
the number. Registration number.
I don't see it. It's okay. Oh, no.
Yeah. Well,
balloon registration. Okay. So we have the balloon registration. Okay. I want this.
Number is in there. I just put
yeah.
in front of it.
Yeah. I want the name, right? And I want the status. This one, right? Yeah.
Right.
I copy that 3 fields and I'm putting that in the cross-reference table. Right? And then, because, you know, it will help me in the future, I know, right? I want the name, the first name, last name like this of the pilots. Remember that cross-reference table is from pilots and from balloon. It's going to both. I have balloon and pilot, right?
Right.
And now what I do, remember, I build a world. I have a world for that entity. I have a world that go to pilot, balloon, to itself. So I want this balloon stuff, right? I start from my world, you know, the main, you know, this is, you know, the sun of my world or my universe. And I want, right, to go to balloon. And I want the balloon registration. Right?
Right.
The same for the name. I want from my world, I go to balloon and I want the name. Same.
And these are lookups.
Yeah, those are lookups. I want from that world, I want to go to balloon and I want the status balloon. And for the last name, first name, I want from that world, I go to the pilot's world and I want the name first, last. So I have lookups. Okay. So let's remove all those, you know, always validate. Okay. So I have my IDs, and thanks to my IDs, I will bring all the information for that in that table. In that table. Okay. I bring them. Right?
Right.
So now I don't need to do that anymore. I can stay in the pilot I can stay there. I can say, no, stay straight there. I want the registration number from that table. I want the name from that table, and I want the balloon status from that table, right? So now I'm still in the same table, right? So what do I need to do here? Because now in that table, I can display those information in the local table. Just what I need to do, a relookup on this, you know, and a relookup on this. Boom. So now I have all my info, right? Correct? From the table itself, right? So I'm back. Good. I'm good with this now. This table belongs to that table. So now I am no longer depending on a third level. Bye.
I was going to ask if we're going to remove that. Yeah. Okay.
We don't need one A to B. That's it. And because I need to gather information, yes, I have my world. This, I am here, display things into this, from this. From here, display me information from this. Good. This is what you need. And then when you hear, I want information from here, from here, from here. So I have always A to B, A to B, A to B, A to B. I don't have A, B, C, D, F. I don't do cascading like this, right? I don't do that because it's slow. We can do it. I demonstrated it works. But as you said, I have 4 pilots, I have 4 balloons per pilot. That's okay. But if you have more than hundreds, you cannot use that technique anymore. You need to use that. You need to bring information from one table to another, okay, to this table and deal with those information, right? And tomorrow we are going to show how we update and stuff like this, okay?
And the lookup when I add a new record is automatically going to do the lookup.
But I'm going, yeah. So when let's say I want to add balloon 1, I want to add here, I want to add the balloon, I want to add the balloon 2, for example, right? So you go there. When you create a new record, so you put the pilot information, immediately it will get, boom, the pilot. And if I go to the balloon, I want to add this balloon here. So balloon verification. So I want to add this balloon here. I paste the balloon here, boom, and boom, I have the balloon. So now here I have the balloon. Correct?
Right. But if I were to add a balloon 3 to a pilot, I don't know that we have that button reconnected.
No, we need, okay, see, let's say I have a balloon 3. I have a balloon 3. Okay, I have a balloon 3 here. So, and okay, we have all those. So I'm copying this, right? Copying this. Oops. I create a new record. I'm pasting this balloon 3 here, and I want to add this to that guy. Boom. Okay, I don't have the registration because
you didn't add one.
I didn't have one, but now I have the balloon 3 here. Okay.
Right.
So tomorrow we are going to see, that's a good example, by the way, what happened if I put a registration number here, right? What happened here? Nothing, nada.
Right. We have to re-look up.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal. And I'm going to show you how we do this tomorrow. Okay. So that was part of the plan, by the way.
Okay.
So Marge, we have a questioning.
At the moment, I don't think so. But like I said, Twitch chat is having issues. But we kind of need to wrap up anyway.
We don't have question at all.
Stu had one earlier, but then you came back when you came back and did that removing of the third layer there. I think that answered what he was asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I understand this is it's a deep dive, right? But this is how FileMaker works. Okay, so the relationship, as you can see, I think many of you guys, and especially the people who will see the video, I don't do anything on scripts. I do nothing on scripts. Everything is on the relationship, everything. I don't move data on script. The script I'm doing there, is just collecting things, and then I'm setting based on a Boolean. But I'm not moving things. I'm not set view. No, I'm not doing this. Never. This is super slow, right? For example, moving information from one table to another, right? the script is not good, and you will see that it's not that difficult to get the thing updated, right? Just it's a good, you need to have a good practice and good discipline, right? But tomorrow we're going to follow up on this, and then March we are going to continue this series. So how people are reactioning on this series of videos? Are they published online? Are they available?
Some should be published. I haven't checked recently how they're reacting, but I know that in general chat, people have found the series really informative and useful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because it's.
I think the first 6 episodes are up.
So now we dive a little bit more, right? So it's that's expected. We dive more, and so but I want to explain the right way. I want to show the right way. So I'm showing multiple ways. So I'm going slowly, right? Boom, 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 like this, and then I explain why we need to do the right way. But it's this anchor buoy, the anchor buoy, the Boolean, what's the name? The cross-reference table. It's all part of the good practice, right? All of those things, right? So yeah. So tomorrow we continue. Tomorrow will be good to show how we fix all of those things, right? How we keep in sync everything. Okay.
Yep. Thank you very much, you both. Cool.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, everybody.
Got a report of an individual up here who maybe a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.